Hello, welcome back to another quick devlog. I have made a lot of progress on this ball simulator thing that I posted in the last one, and I felt like it would be cool to share off. So, the main thing that I've changed is you can have more balls, they have better collisions, they bounce better with gravity now. The old one just like it was a constant elastic collision, pretend we're in space, and it just moves. Um, and also a really cool feature where if you drag the window, it will move the balls along with that window. So if you put them right, it like shoves them all to the right, or if you put them up, they all move up. Um, so here's a quick demonstration. We have 100 balls in this simulation, and if I move them to the left, you can see, or the right, you can see that they like to follow what's going on, which makes a kind of satisfying animation. I've also made it so that over time, once they hit the floor and they start rolling around, you can see in the bottom it says ball despawned. Essentially, if it starts to stop, they despawn over time, so that you don't get a bunch of them sitting there realistically doing nothing. The other thing is, you can now press N and it'll just spawn them in with random colors, random velocities, random locations, um, which makes for a cool thing. And you can see they all just spawn at the same time there. But we spam a bunch, we can still do this like moving up and all that kind of stuff. So that's cool. But it's not particularly very good. I switched over to using some Suvat equations here. So we're using one of them, S equals UT plus a half AT squared, which is this one to get the how far we should move according to gravity. But I think I can do better. And well, yeah, there's many things that we can improve on. The first one is we have these like I say magic numbers. They're not really magic. This is just the radius of the ball. Um, but because everything is handled from, if you've ever used Bevy, we're using the ECS. All of this is handled from a system, and so all the balls are just located in the commands, which essentially means they're global, right? But what I think I can do, and I've not looked into it, but I think it would work, is move it into its own implementation of a structure, which essentially means that I can have the controlling of the movement within an object. I don't know if it's actually an object in Rust. I'm not used to it, but if I pretend it's an object-oriented program, which I'm more used to, the code to move the ball around will be inside the object, and so we could just call that function, and it should just handle it. But again, I'm somewhat newer to Rust, so it's still not there for me. The other one is like this mess of collision boundaries. I've always hated collisions. I've always had an issue with figuring out collisions, and it's like times 200. Like this is old code. It should actually be changing it based off the velocity. Essentially, what was happening was is when the ball bounced, it would change its velocity, but it wouldn't move at all. And then the next frame it would move downwards, and then it would get stuck, and it would like glitch through the floor. Um, what I've done here is essentially said, okay, right, we're changing directions, but also add that to the position. So now in this step, not only does it hit the wall, it does its collision and moves back. So it technically moves twice in one step, but that's all right. Another one is moving stuff like draw text that doesn't need to be in here. The little text that says, this is press space to debug or N in front of the ball. Um, that doesn't need to be in here, and it can go. And yeah, just kind of moving things around and making everything a bit better. The other one is some cool cats there. Valet integration, if I pronounce it correctly. I've done a bit of research into it. I don't know it properly, but I've heard that it essentially boils down to um, figuring out where to go based off where it was, where it's now, and where we kind of our accelerations. I'm not 100% sure how it would work, but I feel like it would be a cool thing just to learn. Um, and hopefully, from what I've seen, it kind of just like works with collisions better. I don't know why. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of videos on collisions and all that kind of stuff that I can look into and research. But yeah, it's kind of cool. It's really satisfying when you get like a bunch of balls on the screen at the same time. Yeah, look, it's so hard to find where I'm at. There I am. If I put 2,000 balls, hopefully, I've not actually tested this many. Yeah, look at that. It'll bounce around. What's cool is you can see like levels where certain ones have got like a similar kind of height or like y velocity, and so they kind of bounce in like these levels, which is really cool. Um, yeah, I mean it's not perfect. There's still things where like you can see this orange one down here is clipping into the wall, um, which is not great. But yeah, pretty happy with it. It's pretty cool. The balls bounce.